The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
But when you are a guard and you can pull up from 30, there is very little that can be done with you. And that is the case with Stephen Curry. He don't need help. He don't need screens. He can create his own shot off the dribble.
Yeah. Ooh, Coach put me in the game. I can hit the shot from half court. MVP of all sports. Coach put me in the game. You know I'm the truth on the field. Bad up. Competition know the deal. Coach put me in the game. Woo. Yeah. Coach put me in the game. Coach put me in the game. Welcome to the Coach Staley, Coach English Show. Ghoulish gang. Coach put me in the game.
Welcome back. Sorry about that. Press the pause button twice, but welcome back to the Staley and English Show with Coach Kurtz. I'm your man, Coach English, and unfortunately, Josh was lazy today. Josh didn't make it in today, and as usual, I have to hold the show down and be on site. But we're gonna get Josh is at home enjoying his family, and I'm on the road. See how this relationship works? It's kind of messed up. I don't know what type of friendship this is, but it's cool. But as always, Josh is here. So Josh, what's up, man? How was the week?
Man, God is good as always. My dear brother likes to twist the story and make me the bad guy, but I'm okay with that. Tal had orientation all week for his magnet program that he's joining at his middle school, so I'm trying to be a good dad and take him. I wish I could have been there with you guys, listening to the great speakers that the SCBCA put together for the coaches convention. So I'm kind of jealous and hurt at the same time that I'm not here to hear all those there to hear all those great speakers. How things going with you? Man,
it's going good, man. I mean, I can't complain. I'm here. You're not, but I can't complain. It's good. Enjoying being here around the great speakers, man. Had an opportunity to see our guest host. We have a guest host today, but I had an opportunity to hear our guest host say some things today, and it really had some things I really took in. I got an opportunity to head down to College of Charleston yesterday and see step in on their practice. So it was real. It's real good. The atmosphere here is real dope. It's really enjoyable. It's a lot of interaction. It's the most interaction with the clinic that I've seen in a long time. But I am not gonna hold it up. We have a very special guest, y'all. A very, 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 very special guest. My man, listen, every time I have a conversation with him, he's one of the funniest guys you could ever, one of the most hilarious guys you could ever have a conversation with, one of the best guys you could ever have a relationship with. My man, everybody's guy, the head coach at University of South Carolina, the great Frank Martin. Welcome to the show, Coach.
I appreciate that. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I was laying out on South Beach yesterday morning with Anya, and I got to Charleston today. Where's Josh?
Where's Josh?
See, did you hear what you just said, though? You were laying out on South Beach. You got to Charleston. That means you got the resources to move like that.
No. Because at 3 o'clock today, I better be picking up Christian or I'm in deep trouble.
Well, that's cool. So we ain't gonna hold them up much. I know you guys are used to an hour-long show, but our show isn't gonna be that long today. We're gonna get in, kind of get out. This is a little shorter version of the Staley and English Show. So we're gonna start off with our current events. Josh, you take us into our event of the week.
Yes, our current event this time is going to be about what LeBron James did over the week. We had one video with him dunking in the layup line with his sons at a travel ball event. I don't know if they were in Vegas or not. And then they had one with him celebrating the kids on the sideline for dunking. It's been getting a lot. Some people saying it's not that bad. Some people saying that it's crazy. But nonetheless, it's LeBron James and he's been getting scrutinized for it. So I just wanted to, get y'all thoughts on it. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, of course. You go first.
my breakdown will be very brief. One, I don't really think it's really that serious. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. A couple of people were getting on me on Twitter, but my response to them was compare apples to apples. They were like, well, would you want your dads in the layup line at your game? One, I coach high school basketball, so it's a much more formal event at a high school game, and it's a much more controlled environment. So no, dads won't get in the layup line. It was at a summer basketball event. Obviously, it wasn't a live period event because the coaches were out at the NCAA events evaluating players. So I think it was very informal. I think it was good for the kids to get to experience something like that. Me personally, if my son played with a NBA superstar kid and they jumped in a layup line at a summer basketball game, I wouldn't really have a cow about that. Even if he was celebrating on the sideline, those are memories those kids are going to remember forever. I am a LeBron fan, so I might be being biased. But
you are.
If we've all been to travel basketball,
yeah, you're right.
I walk across half court while other teams are warming up. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the environment. It's all about what the variables you can't minus. One guy was like, well, if I did that, hey, one of my dear friends was like, well, if I did that, I better get the same defense. No, because you're not a 6'9" superhero that can dunk. Like he's still 25 at 34 years old. It's not the same. And I even put on Twitter, when I play summer ball games, my dads, if you can dunk, you're more than welcome to jump in the layup line at summer ball if you can dunk. But I just think LeBron does too much for the community. He gives back too much to make a big deal out of something that's not really that serious. And this isn't the first time he's done it. He's done it other summers where he's jumped in the layup line. But I don't really see what the big deal is, but that's just my spiel on it. Frank, what's your position on that?
I just think it's social media, man. Social media creates way too many stories that we over-sensationalize it in a positive or a negative way. It's ridiculous. The only thing I would say, Josh, is everyone's looking at it from a father-son standpoint. He's in the kid's life. If you're in your kid's life, you don't need to show it in the layup lines of a basketball game. It's a 24-hour-a-day job. And the only thing I'll say about whether it's good or bad, I'm going to use one of his former teammates as an example. I coached Udonis Haslem in high school. He's like a son to me. Heck, we're both old enough now where it's more like I'm like an older brother. But when he's in layup lines for a game, how would his team feel if all of a sudden I walked in off the stands and got in the layup lines with the Miami Heat? And if he made a pass for LeBron to dunk a ball, what would people say if I ran in from my courtside seats and jumped up and started chest bumping Udonis for making a pass? It wouldn't be accepted. And if it's not accepted in that world, why should it be accepted in the world that these kids are living, which is we're trying to set an example of to what basketball's about. Have as much fun as you want. Coach your kid, be a parent, whatever. Do whatever you need to do, but don't come on the court because it goes against everything that we teach kids. Like anytime a fan touches the court in an NBA game, all of a sudden it's World War III. Like, they don't belong there. And whether you're a dad or a brother, an uncle, a neighbor, when the game is going on, if you're not on the bench, you're a fan. Fans don't belong on the court.
Yeah, I think, and that's the same place I was going to go, Josh. And it's not necessarily a total disagreement with you, because I don't really think I disagree.
You can disagree with me.
I know you don't care. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a total disagreement, but I be there, have fun. But at the end of the day, do it on the sideline. I kind of agree with Frank in that sense. Like, enjoy it, have fun, man. I mean, Josh, I done seen you at Towels games. You do not get in the layup line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, whether it's him or it's not, any father, I love the enthusiasm, not necessarily I agree with being on the floor. If it's something you want to do after the game, he's coming off the floor, you ran over to get a Gatorade bottle right after the game. You know what I'm saying? You want to get that, man. It is, it's cool, but let's go ahead. I do think he's getting crucified a little bit much for it because of social media and how social media works. Because I think, years ago, before social media, this probably wouldn't even have been an issue because nobody would have known that it even happened. So, I guess we agree to disagree, right, Josh? Because we always disagree.
Here's what I'll say. Before social media, we all had opinions.
Yeah.
That for nonsense like this, we kept it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, because of social media, everyone's opinion gets heard, which creates people attacking people, and
exactly.
that's what makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the uncomfortable part of it. I think is just the invent of social media and the way people use it to attack others. It's just I don't see the reason to. I think that social media was meant to be a positive space to share information, to share memories, to share thoughts. And what it's become is this overall thing where people are waiting to make evil statements and to harp on somebody else, criticize. It gives idiots, a lot of times gives idiots a voice. And so, anything to add to that, Josh?
No, I mean, I just lost 2-1, but I'm gonna stick with my opinion, man. But no, I get it. Yeah, obviously I'm not in Kyle's layup lines, and I've been at the game with Frank, and my man Francisco was out there hit like 5 threes, and I saw Frank getting excited, and he didn't even jump up. So I get it, but hey, it is what it is. I still don't have a problem with it, but let's go ahead and get into the topic. Obviously, it's a very personal topic for all three of us on the show, which is the state of basketball in the state of South Carolina. I've been blessed to develop a very healthy, professional brotherhood relationship with Frank over the last several years. And that's why I'm really glad he's on this show. And not to knock any of the other coaches, but Frank's one of the few coaches that I've been able to establish a relationship with that's real. Like, when we talk, it's never coach to coach. It's always man to man, father to father, brother to brother. Like you said, he's hilarious. We have good laughs. We barely even talk about basketball, which is rare, and it's never business. But, Frank is one of the few guys that I would allow my sons to play for, because that's something I'm very sensitive about. We throw the word signing and offers and scholarships around so fluently and so recklessly at times that, are you really sending your kid with someone that you would trust to guide him to make the right decisions when you're away? But we just want to get Frank's mindset, his opinion on the state of basketball in the state of South Carolina at this current time, and where we come from, and just get his thoughts on that, and we can talk about that a little bit and let him go, because I know he's a busy man. So, Frank, the floor is yours, brother.
Oh, we spoke about that here this morning at the State Coaches Association clinic to a certain extent. I've got dear friends that still coach high school basketball in Florida, where I spent so much time, and when I got hired here, they brought their teams up just because they're my friends, and they wanted to come support me and my new job. And what's happened, Josh, is 7 years later, they keep coming, not because of my friendship, but because the competition, the basketball that our high school teams play is real good. And that's a credit to the coaches in the state that I don't think they get the credit they deserve, or the kids, for the quality of basketball that's played. There's this, because it's a football state, a lot like Florida, there's a lot of opinions that high school coaches don't really spend a lot of time coaching basketball here in the state, and it's something that's very untrue. On the contrary, and that's personal experience from other high school coaches. That's not recruiting garbage from me to make people feel good. It's the truth. It's what I'm being told, and it's what I see with my own eyes. And I think it's very underrated as far as the quality of basketball, the quality of coaching. I think we got to keep fighting the fight. And one of the things that's made it hard for coaches, high school coaches, not just in South Carolina but around the country, is the way the recruiting calendar was set up. The high school coaches really disengaged from February until the following November. And recruiting was kind of taking place without their involvement. And now coaches are trying to discipline kids for not going to class, for being late to something. And now the kids are being told and the parents are being told, like, hey, you can't do that because you're going to hurt my kid's chance of getting a scholarship. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. The truth is there are a lot more players than there are scholarships. The guys that don't work, don't live in structure, don't listen to instruction, don't sacrifice, they probably not getting a scholarship. And if they're talented enough physically to get a scholarship, but they avoid all those things I just said, they end up transferring because they fail wherever they go. That's why we have 900 transfers a year for the last 3-4 years. And it's the challenge right now. And I think that's why you've seen some of the changes on the recruiting calendar to incorporate the high school coach more, whether it's through the team camps in the summer, whether it's these college basketball camps that the NCAA opened up. It's an opportunity to kind of to reconnect high school coaches with the college recruiting, which then hopefully doesn't mean AAU guys are bad. I coached AAU. Josh, you coach AAU. You coach AAU. We all do it. It's not trying to take a shot at AAU basketball. It's just that the high school coaches, they understand the component, the everyday life, walking the halls, being the places on time, academically, going here, going there, and holding people accountable, not just when they score 20 points, but when they don't go to class or they decide they're going to give the trainer an attitude or they don't want to lift weights. You're dealing with the structure and holding them accountable that when they get to college, I don't care where they go, they don't have to come to South Carolina. Wherever they go, they're going to have to live in structure. If they don't, they're going to fail.
They're going to fail, yeah. What about you, Josh?
I just feel that the state of basketball in the state of South Carolina, even since I've moved to South Carolina, has grown, and it's very productive. And it's a lot of high-level coaching going on at the high school level. Even at the college level, I think we have very good basketball at the college level. And the thing that I like about this state, and it's not just Frank, it's Frank, the Murray Garvins of the world, the Coach Grants of the world, the Brad Daubles of the world. I've established so many healthy, productive, genuine relationships with the college coaches that, it puts South Carolina in a very good state. And like Frank said, it's not some recruiting bullcrap. If I call up Frank or Murray Garvin or my old high school coach, Brad Daubles, Coach Grant down at College of Charleston, I'm like, hey, I want to come in your office and pick your brain. They're not going to tell me no. They're going to make sure the schedule fits and it's going to get done.
Yeah.
So I do really like where we are. My only concern, and not to make this a political element, is the state where we are as far as getting the open season back. I think basketball grew at a high level because the high school coaches were able to work with their players year round. I'm not saying specialize and tell a kid only to play one sport. But if a kid wants to work on their game, we have to give them that avenue because every kid can't afford a trainer and pay $20 to $45 a session to work out 3 times a week. So I do feel we need to get that back because I do think that open season allowed us to close the gap with the competition of the neighboring states like the Georgias and the North Carolinas and the Tennessees and the Floridas. Like, we were able to close that gap and play at such a high level. You can even look at it on the travel ball circuit. We're competing at a national level with the various travel ball teams that we have. And it's not all shoe-sponsored teams. Our guys represent well. Like Frank said, I coach 5th grade travel ball, and these guys has either won or competed for about 3 or 4 national championships over the last couple of years. So it's like the kids are getting better. So I like the direction it's going in, but I would really like to see that open season piece be modified and allow the coaches to work with their players. What's your thoughts, Coachy?
Well, I mean, I echo what both of you have said just now, and mostly I think that basketball has gotten better because coaching has gotten better. Mm-hmm. Basketball is no longer a little brother. It's more of we're going to get a basketball coach to coach these kids. We're not going to get an assistant football coach. We're just gonna give him a basketball supplement and put him out there. It's people who know.
Schools, some folks are still doing that.
Some folks are still doing it. No.
Some folks are still doing it.
But I think for the teams that are consistently good, like the biggest compliment I've gotten, and Frank never said this to me directly, a parent of a kid saw me and said, "Hey man, I want to tell you, I like what you're doing." He was like, "Coach Martin talked about you." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He was like, he named a couple of coaches in the state that you would want your kid to play for because they're going to come ready to play college basketball. And I never had that conversation with Frank. And so I saw it as a compliment to me because I don't go around asking for stuff. But that goes to show that once you get people in the right position, kids are going to college ready to play and succeed. Because, Josh, we have a number of kids in college. I have a number of kids in college. Coach Zach Norris has a number of kids in college. And the kids are going, and they're there, and they're being successful. And whether they're going off into life or into the military afterwards or whatever they're doing after college, they're going into it and being extremely positive because we're sending them to people like the Earl Grants, like the Frank Martins, the new coach over at Presbyterian escapes me right now. But, you know, these different relationships that we've cultivated, each one of these people I could call, like you said, Josh, and I could say, yo, I'm having an issue. I need to change something. Hey, what do y'all do here? Oh, man, don't worry about it. Come down and we'll talk about it. Like, I can't tell you the many times I've been invited to Carolina's practice, or I've been invited to went to college in Charleston, like I said yesterday. I've been invited to come in, and they want you to come in to foster a relationship, not necessarily for any other reason, but just to have the relationship. And that's why I think basketball is headed in a positive direction in the state of South Carolina, because coaches are now starting to cultivate great relationships with each other. Now, we still have some out there that are reluctant, but for the most part, as far as high school to college, the college coaches, I've never had a bad relationship with any college coaches in the state of South Carolina. I just haven't. And I don't know if that's because of who I am, but other coaches will say stuff and I'll be like, man, look, I don't know who you talk to, but that's not my experience. Yeah. And so those are the people that are more reluctant to learn because, Josh, let me tell you something real quick. Now, you know how they have the rooms cut in half, right? At the clinic when people are talking.
Right.
Frank's first session was so packed they had to open up the doors and they had to open up the partition and open up the whole thing, and it still got packed because coaches are coming in wanting to get knowledge to take back and teach their kids, but we're still being a little bit handcuffed because we don't have our open period, and the open period has also hurt our recruiting to a certain degree because now coaches, they don't have as much practice time to get in because it doesn't line up with the time that you guys can get out at times and get to come in and talk to the kid at practice and stuff like that. So, I hope they give it back or at least give us some version of it back. But and we don't know where that's going to go, but I am very happy with where we're headed. And it's not just because of the John Morants and the, oh God, why does his name escape me? Zion Williamson. It's not because of that, but it's, like Trey Hannibal, Little Russ that's headed up to Russell Jones that's headed up to Winthrop, DJ, your guy that's headed over to Francis Marion. On every level, kids are going to play and are set up to be successful. That's my spill. I know you got to say something, Josh. You always have something to say, so.
No, I think you spoke so eloquently, man. I'm proud of you, man.
Man, if we cursed on this show, Josh,
No, I think that's great, man, and I think it's big. At least you get invited to Frank practices. Frank never invites me to his practice,
here we go.
So,
because I know you're busy.
Because he knows you're going to be on the phone. That's why you're gonna go to practice on the phone.
No, man, but Frank, man, we really, really value and appreciate your time. Keep doing what you're doing. We ain't gonna hold you up much longer, Coach E. We can get into our final shout outs.
Yeah.
Let Frank go on back to South Beach.
Okay, before we get to the shout outs, Coach Martin, there is a question that we ask all of our guests that come on. We've been doing it for about a year now. You have to pick any 5 players in NBA history. The team that you have to beat is LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal. What 5 do you put on the floor?
finding a new profession. Good luck. I mean, with all due respect to Josh, any team you put Michael Jordan on, you got no chance. Yeah, that's a loaded question there. That's you got no chance. I'll say this to you: give me Michael Jordan, you take whoever you want.
Take whoever. So we're gonna trade. You're gonna do a swap out.
You give me Michael Jordan, I'll fill out the team. We got a chance.
All right, so that's a no. That's a non-responsive answer from Frank Martin. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get into our shout outs. We'll start with you, Coach Martin. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? South Beach, maybe?
Well, I can always shout out South Beach now, but since we're doing what we're doing with the two guys that I'm doing this with, shout out to all you high school coaches that wake up every day and get to them gyms at 6:30 in the morning to help kids, hold them accountable. Go out and preach. We've created a mindset that we got kids thinking that they're more scholarship than players, and they can play around with that stuff. And kids the real good ones get scholarships, but then some other guys get left by the wayside because they don't take advantage of the opportunities when they're in front of them, because we're allowing kids to play social media game with scholarship offers, whether they're real or not real. And the whole transfer portal stuff, kids are getting left out. Yeah, they think it's great to put their name in the portal. It gives them 5 minutes of fame on social media, and they're getting left out of Division I basketball. And so, shout out to you guys that work so hard to prepare young people to take advantage of life, because it's not about how many baskets you can get. Is if you can score baskets, how you can add value to your life. And you don't add value to your life through basketball. You add value to your life through structure and learning how to coexist and taking advantage and being prepared for opportunities. And that's what you guys do, so shout out to you guys.
Oh, definitely. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Josh, your shout out?
Yeah. Same thing as Frank, man. Piggyback a little bit. Shout out to all the high school coaches. Shout out to all the coaches, period, because we deal with a lot.
Yes, sir.
We usually don't talk about our own burdens. We talk about the burdens of others. So shout out to all the coaches that deal with so much and how they handle it so well. Shout out to all the kids, college and high school and middle school, elementary and Head Start, whatever, just getting ready to get right back into school. Some have already started school. So shout out to all those folks, and that's about all I got. Frank, do you own a pair of duckhead khakis?
See, now, I knew this is where we were going. Frank? I knew we were headed this way.
Frank?
Do I own what?
A pair of duckhead khakis. Do you still own them?
I'm not sure. I got to go in my closet, but if I do, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. In about 3 weeks, I'm going to come by that driving line at AC Flora, and I'm going to bring them to you.
No, he's going somewhere with this, Frank. You got.
I'm done. No, Frank got a good joke because he know I have the direct traffic.
He'll be 7 a.m. If I ever want to see Josh, 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Yep, AC Flora Drive right there.
Directed traffic. But no, we appreciate you, Coach. You get to your shout-outs, man.
Yeah, man. Just want to give a shout-out to all the coaches out here doing the best they can to get better over here at the clinic. Shouts out to the high school league for putting on the clinic. Shouts out to Coach Martin, man. Thank you for giving us your time, energy. You did not have to do this, like I say with everybody else. There's never anything anyone has to do, but we appreciate you sitting down with us and taking your time out basically to have the same conversation we would normally have, just people seeing another side. And shouts out to all of our listeners. Thank you for listening and continue to do so. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at the Staley and English Show at all social media platforms. That's the Staley and English Show, as well as I think they want us out of the room. They keep cutting off the lights. If you want to join the conversation, email us at the Staley and English Show. That's the Staley AND English Show at gmail.com. Also, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And don't forget the 5-star rate. You can catch us. We have moved. We are now coming out every Friday morning at 7 a.m. Please make sure to catch us every Friday morning at 7 a.m. You catch us on GoDefyLife.com. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Once again, this is the Staley and English Show. Keep God first. Everything else to follow. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate you, Frank. Y'all be safe.
You got it, guys.